in 1983 in Zimbabwe, Prime Minister Mugabe banned fruit jokes from being told in Zimbabwe. If you told a fruit joke, went to jail straight away. And the reason for it is that the fruit jokes were upsetting the president of Zimbabwe, whose name happened to be President Banana. And it's like, that's amazing. That's a fucking fantastic fact. And what's really cool is that President Banana, someone who's really kind of worried about his name and his image, obviously, he was gay and he got done for sodomy. So all the headline papers that came out were just like his worst nightmare, because it was like, man raped by banana and stuff like that. And so he had to exile and he came to England. And when he came to England, he met Prince Philip. And Prince Philip was introduced to him, and which I find fucking amazing, because you got the one man in the world who doesn't like being insulted, being introduced to the only other man in the world who like literally makes it his job to insult every human that he comes into contact with. And so the introduction went, President Banana, this is Prince Philip, President Banana. And Philip said, President Banana, lovely to meet you. Tell me, did you come on your own, or are there a bunch of you? His wife still lives in Kentish Town, or in the area in North London, and her name's Janet Banana. Janet Banana lives in North London. This kills in Beijing, it's awesome. So it goes, 从天有一个嘴巴，每天他说话，说，但是有一天没说话，为什么？为什么他没说了？为什么？哦，因为他是耳朵。Yep. So, if you're on a bus, right, and you see two people from their own country talking in their own language, do you notice this? They always go into English at like really random points, for like words that they definitely have in their own language. So like a typical conversation would be like, 哦，我跟我的朋友待在家，我买 marshmallows, Robert Pattinson, nail gun， 但是他没有这个东西，我们要看那个 Industrial Revolution， 然后我们 go down to Unchain My Heart. It's like, what is this? It's like the ultimate preview to a conversation I'm never gonna get to. It's like the trailer of an amazing chat that I will never get to know. Around the Earth, there's a lot of rubbish, tons of rubbish that kind of set this film of, we've got like a layer of rubbish around our planets, the other great junkyard, and the majority of it is shit and piss from astronauts, having ejected it from Mir and all the other, as they're coming back into Earth, so orbiting around our planet, and basically piss. Really, it's responsible for the majority of satellite damages, because it hardens up like a bullet. It's traveling around the world at these speeds, and it just knocks into, and it's really fucking up a lot of our systems, right? But the thing that Arthur C. Clarke was saying was that left on the moon by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were 2 bags of shit that they took because they didn't want to bring it back. Basically, sitting in those bags are shit that are holding onto the bacteria that they have, and they live because they're not going to die. They're just 2 bits of shit. And it's technically the greatest thing that we have ever done as a civilization, because long after our planet has been destroyed and the moon is kind of hanging there, if any passing alien species comes along, they'll find that bag of shit and they'll be able to recreate our DNA and be able to make humans or understand what life was. There's life sitting on the moon. So the greatest thing we've ever done, ever, is to leave 2 bags of shit on the moon. I think that's fucking beautiful. And what's even better is there's this idea of panspermia, which means of life starting from other places. And he was saying of the Apollo astronauts that went out into deep space, all of them ejected their shit into space. So right now, traveling out in the universe are bags of shit, which if they hit a planet at the right time, under the right circumstances, could spark off life, like our planet's had life. And they're just out there, they're traveling. We've got these life vessels, just fucking, and they're pieces of shit. So Jim Lovell, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, billions of years from now, might have a whole planet that was born with as much diversity as our own. We could have been the product of, the Neil Armstrong of their day, billions of years ago, who took a shit and it landed on our planet at the right time. So that's amazing. You've got, not only did they land on the moon first, but they might set up fucking worlds that don't have life on it. I think that's incredible. And I want to talk to Jim Lovell about that and say, you know, you might be a god. You know, technically you're a god if that happens. How do you feel about that? What would you name your planet? You know, the Lovell Shack? I don't know. Basically, we all think the Americans got to the moon first, right? And I don't mean landing on it, but Jim Lovell, who was on Apollo 13, went around the moon and took the photo of the Earth, the first time we've ever seen Earth rise. But I found out that months before that happened, the Russians sent up a rocket which went around the moon before them. And on it was a cosmonaut, and it was a turtle, a tortoise. So living on Earth right now, because I've looked into the life expectancy of these animals, there's a living tortoise, which was the first ever deep space astronaut that we've ever had, still living. I want to meet that tortoise, because I think that tortoise deserves the rightful kind of, you know, and how mocking as well to the Americans when they're going, we got to the moon. Fuck, what did you send? The slowest fucking animal in the world, a tortoise. That beat you fucking Americans.